From the northern shores and woodlands to the west, it's history. From copper mines and iron ore, the Great Lakes fishery, to the farmlands of the southern counties and east to Chesapeake Bay, to get all that waits the sportsman across the USA. And sometimes when the moon brings out the diamonds in the snow, the stillness of the forest is encased in Arctic cold. The wind might whisper through the trees, listen to it say the beauty of our great outdoors across the USA.
Opening day of waterfowl season. Dick Blau took the weekend off. His sports shop in Houghton will have to survive without him. That's life when you're a duck hunter. A nice thing on this river, this far northern Michigan Upper Peninsula River, is that there aren't very many other hunters.
I think right now it's you and me.
It is this afternoon.
This morning we had some company, but I think this evening looks like it's going to be just you and me.
Why is it that there aren't very many hunters?
Well, this is kind of a remote area and very difficult to get into. You know, we came, mile and a half through all kinds of logs and jams and everything else to get here. And it takes a lot of effort.
Of course, it's going to make it especially tough going out tonight.
Tonight will be fun.
After the shooting when it gets dark. But that tends to filter the hunters out.
Yeah, the morning shoot isn't near as good as the evening shoot, and then when the evening shoot, by the time you pick up your decoys and everything and try to get out of here, it's after dark.
Any particular strategy you use for these ducks and geese? You have a limited number of decoys. What, a dozen ducks and 3 geese?
We travel light. And we found that you just don't really need a big spread in here. This is a real natural pocket in here that the ducks come in and sit in the evening. Lots of times they come right over the island that's right behind us and just drop in here like a rock.
What about the geese? Are they coming from any farm country around or anything?
Well, there's quite a bit of farm country around, and there's some DNR management areas, and they're also just plain migrating.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to change my chokes because it's... Oh, they're still in the air? Okay, this is an improved cylinder choke right here. I'm going to put in my modified. Like that, and this constricts it down. Coming around? Yeah. Little change in tactics there. Oh, the ducks are coming in. Yep. It was a Susie, wasn't it? Geese coming in?
Here. 100 bucks. 75 anyway.
Wow. Calling. Important?
Oh, I think so. We might have overdone a little bit this morning with 3 of us calling. But it definitely turns the ducks and brings them in.
Mm-hmm.
The geese, I don't know. I think sometimes you can call too much.
Well, they were looking at us.
Oh, yeah.
Thinking about coming down. They were discussing it up there.
It's always nice to see a flight change and break up a little bit and drop down a little bit and get a look at you anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But what's special is when you get usually a smaller flock will be a lot easier to decoy.
Oh, yeah. This is it. Well, we got 2. A goose and a Drake Mallard. Got another goose out there I'll get right now. I'll go get it. There you go, Dick. Guess I'll put these in the boat. Nice, Fred. Look at the goose. Oh, right overhead, right overhead. Here they come.
This is waterfowling, ducks and geese for the table, and memories we find difficult to describe. You had to be there. Maybe next year? Boy, I enjoy duck hunting. I mean, who could not enjoy being out in the marsh on an evening like that? But one thing I enjoy about duck hunting is the calling. Some of you are going to say that I should give up duck calling and goose calling because I'm not the greatest. And the ducks just don't come piling in. But they do turn their heads, they do circle, and they do come into land. A little feed chuckle like that isn't hard to learn. Don't worry about what your buddies say. You don't have to be a world championship caller. Get some calls and try it. It'll increase your enjoyment duck hunting. Now let's go to the part of the show that I can sit back on because I've never got a fish or a big buck that qualifies. This is your part of the show because you're the stars in our trophy book.
Chet Shack has a tremendous walleye, a 14 3/4 pounder. He caught it on a shiner. Now, nice largemouth bass for Steve Culpa, a 6 3/4 pounder. Ken Wilson's mooneye weighed 1 pound 3 ounces. Big bluegill, a pound 2 ounces. Richard Covert caught it on a nightcrawler. Ken Trost 9-point whitetail had an almost 20-inch outside spread. And look at this 7-pointer with a 21-inch spread. Richard Milnerick tagged it on the 3rd day of the season. And Lionel Wood called in this 19.5-pound copper with a 9 3/4-inch beard. Now, this 11-pointer was no stranger to Steve Gallus, who took it on the opening day of the gun season.
Well, I seen this buck 8 days before opening day of gun season with my bow. I watched him for about 3.5 hours chase a doe around my bow stand. And I had a pretty good shot at 20 yards, and I passed it up because it just wasn't good enough, so I figured I'd wait till opening day of gun season. And sure enough, right at 7 o'clock, he came out chasing a doe, and I have a scope on my shotgun I just put on there this year, and that really helped out a lot. It was about 65-yard broadside shot, and took him right through the lungs, and he only went about 40 yards.
Goes to show that patience is a virtue not only in life in general, but in hunting too. Steve Gallus, you proved it, and that's why we're going to make you our Outdoor Digest Big Buck Hunter of the Week. Here's a piece of telephone wire that's been shot in tests conducted by GTE. It's not a pretty sight, especially when it disrupts phone service costs thousands of dollars to fix, and endangers the lives of telephone workers. Now here's a close-up of what a .22 caliber bullet does, and here's the damage done by a load of fine shot or bird shot from a 16 gauge. Now that birdshot damage is worse because it's difficult for workers to locate the problem. And here's the capper, damage from a shotgun slug, a 16 gauge that blows hundreds or maybe thousands of wires apart and puts telephones right out of commission. Now, shooting wires is illegal everywhere with pretty stiff fines and jail sentences. And anyone who shoots a wire and prevents an emergency call resulting in someone's death could be guilty of manslaughter. But that's not enough, because hunters get the blame for the damage. Anyone who is convicted of shooting a wire ought to lose the right to hunt for at least 5 years. Now, people who shoot wires are not hunters, they're vandals. And vandals ought to have the book thrown at them.
It sounds funny to say this, but I get almost as much pleasure fishing if I don't catch fish as if I do. It's the going after them. All of it is freeing up the mind, restoring the soul. It's tranquilizing. It's marvelous. Who said that? President Bush on a Florida fishing trip just prior to his inauguration. Susan Morrow from Frankenmuth, she has a recipe for marinated duck breasts. Now, they don't look like much. You know that?
they don't.
They just don't. Come on over here. They don't look. They're just sitting there in the bottom of that bowl, sort of lowly looking and forlorn. But I'll tell you,
Oh, they smell
I
good.
taste
They are very good.
Oh, yeah,
It's a
we
very
did
good
taste
recipe.
these.
that is when we
Tastes
cooked
like
it up.
beef.
It does taste like beef.
Yes.
You can't believe duck when it's cooked in this manner. A little bit of garlic.
Yes. Garlic and your spices, your lemon juice, your soy sauce, your teriyaki sauce.
You say use a whole bottle of these.
Use a whole bottle of the teriyaki sauce, but you use a half cup of the soy sauce.
Okay, then you use the mixer. Is that just to mix everything?
Yes, it just mix all the ingredients up and then serve it with rice pilaf or wild rice and cook it on the grill for whatever doneness that you want. It'd be like a steak.
Oh, so if you like your steak rare, then you would
That's
just
right.
cook this,
That's
cook this
right.
rare. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, very good. It looks good.
Yes, it is.
And like we said, it was good.
Yeah.
We made that comment. It tastes like steak when we
Yes,
ate it.
it does.
Roger,
Oh, the flavor. Just delicious.
isn't it though?
Oh, man.
You know,
I
people
give it a 9. I love it.
people can't believe how duck breast, when it's cooked this way, does taste like beef. Don't you agree, Bob?
Yeah.
Oh, it really does, and this makes duck extremely petite. Good recipe. 8.
An 8. I'll be darned. That Dijon must have really been good.
It was.
An 8 for me, too. It's delicious, and I love these duck breasts. I've had a lot of them in my life, and I think charcoal broiling them is just right. Perhaps a little more rare than this.
Oh, that's something that people are afraid of in wild game.
I know, but a duck breast really should be bloody.
Shouldn't be any more than... Look at this, our chef.
How about this?
How about
Chef
that?
gave it a 10.
That was excellent. I don't know if I could do any better. It's like almost a classical recipe. I think it's wonderful.
And
I want some more, I'll tell you. It's good.
It is so simple.
Yes, it is.
I tell
And
you.
Mine's nice and rare. Maybe Mort should have got mine. Very good.
Oh, yeah,
Very
that's
good.
great.
You don't have to go far for this recipe, which works well with all small game, even chicken. We cover a lot of material on the show, but the one message I always want to leave with you: get outdoors this weekend if you possibly can, because it's a great place to be. See you next week. Next week, I hope you join me for part 3 of the scent controversy. I'm going to show you why following the instructions they include with the products result in deer coming in, but it's not due to what's in the bottle. An interesting feature, we're going to go pheasant hunting, a great recipe for pheasant paprikash. So join me next week right here on Public Television.